22 minutes left of this morning edition of Morning Live. Thanks so much for being with us. So today sees the beginning of the 2017 Infrastructure Africa Business Forum in Sandton, with the Minister of Trade and Industry, Rob Davies, giving the opening address. Now, this will be the 6th edition of this deal-making platform for many important African infrastructure projects. We're joined by one of the speakers at the event, Nelisiwe Magubane. She is the chairperson at Maclang Energy. Good to have you, Nelly. Thanks for coming into Morning Live.
Thank you very much.
So, infrastructure development, I mean, it's a massive conversation on the continent. Talk to us about the importance of having these discussions and dialogues.
Thank you very much. I think one of the most important things in this regard is the issue around trade. In other words, for us to be able to trade with each other in the continent, we need to be able to have infrastructure. I'm talking about roads infrastructure, I'm talking about energy infrastructure, also making sure the movement of goods and services within the continent, because that is what is going to make the continent to grow. At this point in time, the continent has been growing on average of about 4% in GDP. However, it is felt that it could be better if there was a deployment of effective infrastructure in the continent.
Yeah, it's a big deal. I mean, you know, yesterday was yesterday I suppose was the culmination of a massive week from last week, where we saw the SADC heads of ministries being here, the heads of state being here, lots of meetings that are taking place. And infrastructure development was a very, very big conversation that is hampering development and trade between particularly the SADC regions. Were you sort of party to any of those discussions that were held, particularly with regard to infrastructure?
No, I wasn't part of that. However, as a business person, we're very interested in making sure that all those kind of conversations take place. In fact, what we would like to do as the business community is to provide input in those policy developments that will facilitate appropriate regulatory regime in various countries. Because when there is regulatory certainty, then that's when business thrive, because you know exactly the rules of the game and you know exactly what needs to happen in order for you to be able to execute your business.
Absolutely, and that was really the theme as well, was that partnership between governments and the private sector, because that's the key to success in a way.
That's right, absolutely. Yeah. In fact, it is a well-known fact that the financing is not necessarily an issue. The issue here is regulatory certainty and also the skills development to make sure then that we've got people who are going to be deploying this infrastructure in various places. We do have quite abundance of skills in the energy space, especially in South Africa, which we can be able to deploy in other regions of the continent.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that was a big discussion last week. But not only was it the SADC discussion taking place with what's going to be happening today, it was also the development bank that opened. The new development bank, the regional office here in Johannesburg. Again, the focus on infrastructure. Do you think this is going to assist us in a big way, in a way that's needed?
Definitely. I think in order for us to make sure that this happens, because at the moment, it's not that it's not happening, it's just that it's too slow. It could be better. So obviously the profile of the new development bank, obviously it's going to make sure then it raises the game in terms of infrastructure development.
Yeah, it's amazing the different things that have happened in the previous week that are leading up to what's happening this morning, which is a 2-day conference. You are one of the guest speakers there, and I know what you're focusing on as well. Your speciality, obviously, coming in the energy sector, but being a woman in the energy sector as a player, I'm sure that's something you'll be discussing as well.
Absolutely. In fact, I've been asked to cover the role of women in the energy space and the opportunities that are there. And as we all know, is the fact of the matter is women are the consumers of most energy. It's us who actually make sure that there is energy in the home. In fact, it dates back to the days when we had to go and fetch wood and come and make the fire and cooking. But I believe that we need to move beyond that. Women should be the leaders of energy that is required for the continent. Also, they must also spearhead clean energy solutions that are going to be appropriate and also will be there to make sure that our future generations, they do not have to experience dirty energy sources.
Yeah. opportunities on the continent when it comes to energy. It's a big, big topic. It's a big discussion. And this is a continent that desperately needs this energy. And we have it, but it's that story again where we sort of sell it and buy it back, and that's not the right way to do business. Where are those opportunities? How do you promote this on the continent?
Yes, in fact, lately, I think the successes of the public-private partnership in the energy space in South Africa has galvanized the rest of the continent. Recently, we had Zambia having its own procurement process in the energy space, and we have just been awarded a contract in Zimbabwe to put up a solar plant together with our sister company called Pendo Energy Solutions. So there is quite a lot of activity that is taking place in the energy space, and it's done in a manner that is beginning to bring confidence in the energy business community.
Fantastic. And you talk of Zambia. You were telling me off air that on the schedule is that the Zambian president is expected to open the entire conference today.
That's correct, yes. In fact, we're looking forward to hearing what he's going to be saying in that regard, but I'm assuming that he probably, amongst other things, is going to be mentioning some of the mega projects that they are looking at in Zambia.
Yeah. You know, as South Africa, being the chair of SADC now, I keep on bringing this into the discussion because it seems that this is truly coming at, it couldn't be a more appropriate time on the back of the discussions that were held last week in terms of infrastructure, in terms of SADC. But with South Africa spearheading all of this, do you think things will move faster? Do you think we hold the key to pushing this continent forward?
Yes, I believe so. In fact, we've got all the withal to be able to do exactly that. All we are going to need is just to make sure that it happens. In fact, what I would like to see as South Africa, to be able to make sure then that we strengthen some of the regional authorities, or rather regional associations like RERA. RERA is the Regional Energy Association, and what it seeks to do is to harmonize the legislation in the SADC region to be able to make sure that we're able to do business together. So for me, that is going to be quite important, that South Africa make sure that we continue to support and strengthen such kind of associations in order to make sure that we do have harmonized legislation in the region.
And speed up the implementation.
Absolutely.
Like you said earlier, this is the key to it all. Is this a public event? Do you know? Are people able to come down if they would like to?
Yes. It definitely is a public event. It's a conference. There is an opportunities to register, and also there is even an exhibition, because also there are a number of suppliers who are exhibiting their wares in the conference.
Excellent. Well, thank you. Good luck for your talk today. I hope it has a great impact on the audience that gathers there. Nelisiwe Magubane is the chairperson of Makleng Energy. She'll be one of the speakers at this two-day Infrastructure Africa Business Forum, which starts today. And, of course, our Minister of Trade and Industry, Rob Davies, is expected to be giving the opening address, as well as, according to the schedule, the Zambian president, who should be there and also talking. So it is a big, big, big day for those in the infrastructure. Edgar Lungu, the Zambian president, hopefully being in there today as well. All right, again, thanks so much, Nelly. Great to see you.
Thank you very much.
Let's take a break. We'll have a discussion with Samro after this. Do stay tuned.
Family is a place where we have our most powerful bonds. But sometimes when there's a feud, these bonds can be tested.
Whoa, listen!
This is the show that takes therapy out of the consulting room and brings it to you, the people. Every family has a feud. Mine, yours, and the neighbors.
Family Feud, Monday on 2.
Ek wil weet wie my inligting uitgegee het sonder om my in kennis te stel.
Die minste wat sy kan doen is om te erken dat sy onverantwoord